Hello, my name's James. I'm a portrait photographer from Portsmouth in the UK, and I welcome you to this, my studio here, and we're going to be taking you through an aspirational dance shoot. We've set up a dance shooting studio here with the amazing Jasmine. Say hello to Jasmine. And you can see a cacophony of lights and things and gimmicks and gizmos all around. We're going to take you through the lights and how we set up this studio for this one shot. The first thing we've had to think about for this shot is wardrobe and background. We've had to look at marrying up different tones and different textures. The background we've got is this sort of mottled brown background. It's hanging off of two C-stands at the back of the studio there, just coming across. You could do this with any sort of piece of fabric that you've got, pin it to any sort of tripod, or so I used to sellotape it to a wall in my first studio. Used to sellotape different bits of cloth on different bits of Velcro all up and down the wall to create different backdrops. But just for this one, we've got it on two C-stands coming down with a little bit of brown fabric on the floor, and that marries up with the burgundy that we're working there, sort of like an analogous color scheme, trying to get colors that are roughly on the same area of the color wheel working in together. And we're doing that with in mind, not only so that it looks pleasing as a color image, but also so that those tones will work well together as a black and white conversion image for this dance picture. The white tights here are going to give us emphasis on the legs and hopefully emphasis on shape and form, because dance photography is all about creating shapes and creating form within pictures. It's all about composition. It's all about using the posing and everything within the frame to create a pleasing composition and pleasing shapes within that composition. And luckily, Jasmine is a very, very talented ballet dancer, first in her class, and she's going to do some excellent poses for us today. We're shooting everything on strobe photography, and the point of this shot, the aim of it, which is really important before we start thinking about, what shots do we want? We want to establish what that aim is. The aim is to get a full length dance shot that's got a timeless feel, that's on point. Not only on point in terms of the lighting and the color harmony and the posing and everything technically that I can provide, but on point in terms of what Jasmine can provide as an amazing dancer. She's going to go on the tip of her ballet shoes here, which you described as easy earlier, didn't you? No, it's a very, very difficult thing to do. And what that means is she may not be up there for very, very long. The high-speed sync in the flashes will mean that isn't much of a problem. And even on standard speed sync, 1/160th of a second, I'm still going to get her up there in time and take the shot if I'm quick enough with the focusing on my camera to get a shot that freezes the action and freezes that moment in time. This is what we want. So we're not looking for a smiley dance picture. We are looking to really accentuate the shape and form of an excellent ballet dancer within the frame. That's the point of this shot. So we've gone through a few poses, we created a mood board, had a look at different poses on point that we could do, established what Jasmine could do in studio, and we've come up with an idea with a pose that we're going to do, and we've lit for that. I'm just going to take you around the 4 light setup that we do. All of these lights have a role, and they all have roles and positions within the frame that add something to the piece, and they can all be learnt from our course at nofussmust.com. You have to establish how one light works before you establish how multi-light setups work. One of my earliest memories of being a studio photographer in studio and taking a print for a critique with the experienced area manager photographer who'd been in the industry for 30 years. I took him a photo for a critique one day that I used 12 lights to photograph with. I set up 12 different lights for this portrait, and I took the photograph to him for critique, and his critique was very, very short and very, very simple. He said, why is this photographer trying to use 12 lights when he doesn't even understand how to use one? And I've been trying to use one light perfected with that system in mind ever since. Once we establish how to use one light, we can start building from that. It's like layers within photography. What does everything add? This is my main light. This is my key light up here on the deep dish softbox, Elinchrom RX4. We set this one up first, 45 degrees up, 45 degrees down, angling into the shot a little bit further away so that we cover the whole subject and cover the whole area with at least a base key light throughout the frame here. Our settings for this shot are ISO 100, 160th of a second, and f11. That's what all of these lights are metered towards. They're not all metered to that level because they all perform different roles, but this key light is measured to f11 at those settings. The second light I've got up on here is up on a bayonet arm, and it's up above our dancer, and it's coming straight down on top of Jasmine there, and that's going to give us a nice rim light across the top of the piece. Going to give us a nice hair light, and it's also going to highlight the accents on the arms and anything facing upwards within the pose to give us a nice accent and a nice separation from the background to our subject. We want the background not to be distracting. That's why we want little bits of specular highlights throughout the piece. And this light is going to give us those little specular highlights across the top forms of the arms and the legs as they are put into pose. The third light we've got on here is a beauty dish over here coming from a narrow side as we look at it. So if we bring our video camera back here, we can see that Jasmine is going to be posing and she's going to be looking eventually in the pose this way. The beauty dish, if we turn our camera around here, we can see is around and behind here, shining light and exposing for the narrow side of Yasmin's face as we look at it. When she turns her head here, turns our head here to look this way, we see that the light will come across the narrow side of the face, giving us a dramatic light across that face. The last light we've got here is down here, nice and low, just on the floor, no need for a tripod, panoramic softbox, quite low on the power, but all that's doing is filling in light. It's a fill light here to fill in light from our key light where shadows could be caused to fall on the background to give us an even exposure across the whole piece and pump some light into those legs which may be blocked off from our top rim light here. Everything's been metered and everything's been put there for a reason. Hopefully with a mind to getting a really, really stunning, striking shot when we go into this pose that we've practiced and that we've warmed up for. That's the key thing with ballet dancing, right? Can't just get a high-end dancer to come in and just start dancing straight away. They need to stretch out, they need to warm up. So we've done all of that and with that in mind. We're going to take the shot now, little countdown before our dancer goes into the pose, little 3, 2, 1 go so that we know that everyone's ready. So once I'm framed in camera and once I'm in the right place, we're going to give you that countdown and we're going to go for it. In terms of camera angle, I'm going to come slightly away from the scene here. And as we can see here from behind, all of the lights are either above, to the side, or down below. This middle section of the frame here is almost completely unobstructed, so I can shoot in here. I'm going to come nice and low here because I want emphasis on the dance. I want emphasis on the legs. I want emphasis on the fact that we are going on point. Remember, that is the point of this shot, is that we want to emphasize and show that our dancer is going up and on point. We've metered everything correctly, and hopefully when she goes into this pose, we should be ready to capture something amazing. May take a couple of goes. We'll have a look at the first one, make sure we're exposing correctly first. So in 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. Well, how about that for one and done? Shape, form, beautiful up there on the leg here. Lovely little right angle just coming in here. This little bit of highlight just coming across the face here. We can see that. That's coming from our beauty dish round the back. The top light is giving us lovely highlights, especially in the hair here. And the fill light is filling in any shadows there. Can we just pull the background a little bit? There's a tiny crease at the back at the bottom there. So we just kick that around with our feet. Stretch everything out a little bit. This is all something that can be done in Photoshop afterwards, but I like to get things right in camera, you know? I think it's important to get things right in camera first. In-camera artistry is what I always like to say. We're going to try and do that pose a couple more times, okay? Try not to lean the head too far back. Try and keep it nice and straight and strong, okay? In 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful, right on point there. That's better. That's better than the previous one. Stunning. We're a little bit further forward there. That's lovely. Really beautiful light across the face there. We've come slightly further forward, so that beauty dish has more of a rim light emphasis on the side of the face. One last one. If we can, Can we do it so we offer up the hand this way rather than down that way? Is that okay? We'll give that a go. I might be wrong. I might be doing dancing technique all wrong here, giving her wrong advice. We'll give it a go here. Up and on point in 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. Yeah, I was wrong. That looked awful. Let's go again. Okay, so hand down there for me, exactly the same as before. And 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. Love that shot. So as I go back to my original point, understanding how one light works leads you to be able to create multi-setups that create dramatic photography and give you a different edge to your photography. You can't just go jumping in at 4 light setups and expecting them to work straight away. Similarly, some of the strongest portraits are ones where less lights are used, where you uncomplicate everything, where you turn off your key light. That's the first thing we're going to do here for this next shot. Key light now completely off. So the first light that you would go to set up where the main body of light is coming from in your portrait, we've just turned it off. We're not going to use it. Beauty dish at the back that was giving us the highlight, that little bit of rim lighting around the face, just popping that face up from the background, turned it off, killed it completely. We're just going to do the next shot here with a fill light down here and a top light below, almost clamshell-like here with these 2 lights in these 2 ratios. And you're going to come just right underneath the light here, so we're going to do this pose here. We've worked on a pose where we can't see the face in here, so it's really important shape and form is achieved on this, and that's achieved with timing. I know Jasmine's going to do her job. It's up to me as a photographer to time this correctly. May take a couple of goes. Just hold that position there. She's going to come for this pose slightly left. Just do a quick practice of that pose there for me. Go, stop, and up we come. So you'll see where she goes back, where the Rotolux Elinchrom branding is on the light there, coming straight down. It's slightly in front of her face, but I know she's going to lean forward, so I know the middle of the light is in the middle of the piece there. And we should pick up any shadows from underneath with the fill light there just below. Let's give this a go. 3, 2, 1, go. Stunning. We just caught her on the lean forward as well. That was great. I love that. Can we drop the chin even more? Just a little bit more and try and keep those arms up so we're getting those parallel as well. 3, 2, 1, go. Love working with dancers who can do it. Look at that. On point. Stunning. One more. This is it. That's exactly what I want. So the benefit here as well of shooting tethered is that I can bring our subject to the screen and we can start to analyze what we like about it and what we don't like about it, okay? I kind of almost want to drop the head down even more so I can see the eyes, if we can. I like everything else about it. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So should we go for it, yeah? Yeah. Okay, here we go. Lovely. Okay, this is it. 3rd time lucky. This is the one. Well, let's say 3rd time lucky. We've got some amazing shots already. Let's try and perfect it. This is sizzle on the steak time. 3, 2, 1, go. Beautiful. Head needs to go up a little bit more. Back's nice and arched. Keep those arms up a little bit more if we can. Last one. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah. Right on the point. Love it. Stunning. There we go. What a dance shot. What a dancer. That's amazing. And that's how we create amazing imagery. That's how we create what I call creating a perfect storm. The perfect storm in photography comes when you have an idea that has great color, great wardrobe, great model, great lighting, great use of lens, great use of composition, and then great storytelling within it to create something. I'm not doing that. We agreed, I can't, not in Adidas. And all of those things coming together to create a perfect picture and images that, you know, hopefully you'll look back on and I think are amazing in years to come. And hopefully your mum looks on now and thinks are amazing now. They should be amazing now though, right? Yeah, it's really cool. If you want to learn more, nofussmust.com. These days I use Al Servo and I use the eye detection technology so that wherever I'm moving, the camera is focusing on the eyes and it's refocusing every time I move. I still use back button focus, but I like to use the technology in the camera, utilize it to its full potential, particularly for eye detection focus. Visit us, have a look at the training programs on there and how affordable it is that we can take you from a one light setup to creating images like this with multi-light setups and give you all the tools in the arsenal that you need to create amazing images that elevate your photography and your artistry to the next level. Thanks for joining us. What do they need to do?
Like and subscribe.
And leave a nice comment. Ask a question. I normally answer them. Ask a question. I will answer it.